I want to quickly start off by saying thank you to everybody that has left a comment under my latest videos about caffeine and taurine. The feedback is really useful and it tells me what is and is not working and more or less helps me with the direction as to how I want to approach these videos moving forward. And without wasting any more time, let's get started with the episode. So, on today's episode of The Denture Science, we'll be discussing L-Tyrosine. What do you need to know about L-Tyrosine? Some basic information. More or less, it is an amino acid that is associated with the assistance of stress. And it was initially discovered within cheese, strangely enough, by a German scientist, more specifically a chemist. So you might ask yourself, how does it really assist with stress? The way in which it works to assist with stress is that it is known to be a precursor for both dopamine and adrenaline. What you need to know on top of that, other than the fact that it's just a precursor, it's that it goes from L-tyrosine to L-dopa, turning into dopamine, and then also norepinephrine, then finally epinephrine, also known as adrenaline. L-tyrosine is a precursor for T3 and T4, which are both found in your thyroid. And as mentioned previously, it then gets converted into L-dopa, dopamine, norepinephrine, and then epinephrine, as stated before, known as adrenaline. The adrenaline that gets produced is known to assist with a boost in metabolism, which is why a boost in thyroid activity is associated with a boost in metabolism. The adrenaline that rushes through your body allows your body to burn through more energy in terms of stressful situations or anything that's deemed to be a flight or fight response, because it allows for an increase in your heart rate, it increases the digestion that's going on, basically any form of energy getting burnt in your body to help you make sure you survive, that goes up a whole bunch. And when that goes up a whole bunch, you are definitely burning through quite a bit of energy. Now, how may this benefit you? As stated before, it's associated with an increase in dopamine, which is known to be a part of the reward center of the brain, the pleasurable feelings where you feel good about yourself, you know? You feel rewarded, I guess. Dopamine, reward center. Couldn't find anything catchy to say. But this is also why we have moments of dopamine detox, because you don't want to constantly be in a state of increased dopamine. It can be harmful to have way too much dopamine, but we'll get to that later. As stated as well, an increase in norepinephrine or epinephrine, which is also associated or known as adrenaline. What else? Another benefit is, since you have this increase in dopamine and so on and so forth, it decreases the amount of stress that one may feel or go through in times of stressful situations. And when that happens, it allows for you to be able to remember more of what's going on and to cognitively perform at a high level, because there is a optimal amount of stress where too little stress, you don't feel like being active. Too much stress, you're overwhelmed. There's the good middle point. Right before you reach distress on the other side of the chart, the middle point is known as eustress, which is the perfect balance of stress. More or less, dopamine helps with reaching that balance instead of allowing your cortisol levels to spike and then you're out of whack now.
Keep fucking with me. You think I'm playing some of my bitch? Keep fucking with me.
So, by ingesting L-tyrosine right before stressful events, it allows you to more or less calm down a level. Finally, with an increase in memory and your calmness, it allows for you to reason better, which I think is pretty logical. If you're overwhelmed or overstressed, you're going to struggle with your ability to reason or think logically through things. But now that we've got the benefits out of the way, we need to discuss the dosage and timing. Okay. In terms of dosage, it's been observed that a dosage between zero point 0.5 grams or 500 milligrams to about 2,000 milligrams or 2 grams is the optimal amount. It varies from person to person, obviously. And in terms of timing, it's been observed that the optimal timing is somewhere around the range of 30 minutes to about an hour before the activity you're about to participate in, whether it be exercise or anything that might induce high levels of stress. So, what are some warnings you need to worry about? Those that do take antidepressants should watch out for L-Tyrosine because of its byproduct known as tyramine. Now, tyramine does not directly assist with stress, but it does play a similar role to that of adrenaline, just in a less controlled fashion. So, because of this, since it's less controlled, it can have the effect of increasing blood pressure, which is not so nice. I know adrenaline itself, increasing your heart rate or whatnot, does sound like it'd be something that increases your blood pressure or stress levels, but as stated before, it's more controlled than that of tyramine. Tyramine is a byproduct which is less predictable, and that is also part of the reason why it's not really given or what do you call this? Prescribed in the same way that L-Tyrosine is. Okay, another group that wants to watch out for this is anybody that has an overactive thyroid or already takes thyroid medication for obvious reasons. If you are already producing too much thyroid hormones, you're more than likely going to be producing quite a bit of adrenaline, leading to an excess in the byproduct tyramine, thereby, you know, causing problems with blood pressure once again. Next up, anybody that is elderly, funny enough, might want to watch out for L-Tyrosine. Reasons being that when research has been conducted, I'm not going to lie to you guys and say I fully understand why, but for some reason, it's been noted that in elderly population, it actually has been more detrimental than it has been beneficial. Whereas in young adults, anybody like more or less around their 30s or lower seem to benefit from ingesting tyrosine in comparison to anybody that's closer to their 50s and 60s and so on and so forth. So, before we get to the summary slash recap, L-Tyrosine is one of those similar to caffeine where it has its benefits but also has its drawbacks, and you should definitely balance it out and consider which health group you may fall into, whether you may be at risk or you may benefit from it. It's definitely one of those that needs to be observed and discussed with a medical professional before you consider taking it. So, in summary, it's known to increase memory and performance in stressful situations because of the production of dopamine and adrenaline, allowing you to be somewhat in control of your response and feel less affected by your fight or flight response in stressful situations. Next up, a recommended dosage of zero point 0.5 to 2 grams is advised for anybody that does want to take it approximately 30 minutes to an hour before the stressful event, whether it be physical sports or sitting down at your desk doing intense work. One thing that I do need to note that is not on the slideshow is that it's more beneficial in situations that require a cognitive load compared to that of physical stress, meaning it's definitely more beneficial mentally than it is for physical stress responses. Something to take note of. Finally, anybody that is taking antidepressants, has an overactive thyroid, or taking thyroid medication should definitely watch out for this. Talk to a doctor first. And those that are on the elderly side, in comparison to being a young adult, so on and so forth, you might want to skip out on this. And don't forget, please like, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's episode. If not, leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see different, what you want to change. If you have any questions, just leave them below. I can go read up the info for you. And if there's any recommendations as to supplements or products you want me to discuss, you can also link that below. And I'll see you next time.